Okay, we're going to be taking a look at my Gamo P-25 blowback CO2 pistol. This is a pretty neat little air gun. Some of the features on it. It's got a button right here by the trigger. Press that, clip comes out. And this is an interesting clip I haven't seen before. It's not one but two rotary clips on each end. And they're angled slightly so that they fit the mechanism. And there's 8 shots per clip, so this one clip holds 16 rounds of 177 cal pellet ammunition. And they do sell these clips separately, but 16 rounds, 8 rounds per rotary mag. And it just slides right in there and snaps into place. Now the bottom is open, so that clip can pop out and there's no cap or cover that comes off of there. Some of the other features, it does have a kind of interesting safety mechanism right here. It's a hefty metal piece, and you have to pull it back, and it allows you to switch from fire to safe. It's got these little, I don't know, grooves here so that you have to pull that metal back. You can see that, and that'll allow that to be adjusted. So it's on fire by default. It doesn't have an automatic safety. As far as the operation of the gun, it does take a 12-gram CO2 powerlet, and that is inserted in the handle here. And you just basically slide off this kind of tricky, this little end cap. CO2 goes right there, you screw it in, pop that back on. Okay, and you want to put a little drop of pellet gun oil on the tip of the CO2 before you put it in there. And then usually fire 1 or 2 shots to puncture it, get the gas flowing, and then you'll have full powered shots after that. You can start out cocking the weapon either by pulling the hammer back directly, or you can actually operate the slide. And really all the slide does, it mimics a real firearm as far as kind of the motion of it, but the actual mechanics are different. So there isn't a round being chambered. That's not the purpose of the slide. The purpose of the slide is to actually draw that hammer back, which it does. And another reason that there's a slide is since it is a blowback pistol, after each shot it'll slide back so fast you really can't even see it. You definitely feel it, but you really can't see it because it just comes back so fast. I was really surprised when I first fired this handgun because first of all, the weight, it's very, very realistic. It does have a kind of a plasticky feel to it. So this is mostly all plastic except for that safety is metal. But the weight is pretty close to a firearm, maybe a little bit lighter. So it's got the heft, definitely it's the size of a firearm. And I have big hands, so I like that heft that it has. And but yeah, when you fire it with that blowback, it does feel realistic. It's got some recoil to it, and you know, it's obviously not super loud, but it's pretty loud. You feel the percussion from the release of the gas, so it's pretty realistic. Also, another thing I like about it is it's a true semi-automatic. They say that, you know, other CO2 guns are as fast as you can pull the trigger. Well, when you pull the trigger, you're actually, the process of pulling the trigger is completing the entire cycle of the mechanism. So it's loading the pellet, it's drawing back the hammer, and allowing the hammer and sear to engage, releasing the gas. However, with this, the blowback action cocks it for you. So when you depress the trigger again, you're not having to put enough, you don't need much travel or really effort, pressure to draw the trigger back because it's already cocked. And other guns, alleged CO or alleged semi-automatics, you can shoot it as fast as you pull the trigger, but you're still cocking it every time with your finger. That's part of the action, is to cock it and release it. This one, after you shoot the first round, very similar to a firearm, when the slide goes back due to the gas, it cocks it again. So you can rattle off 8 shots very quickly and pretty accurately, and it's got a nice trigger pull. It's not, you don't have a lot of travel, and it doesn't have a lot of pressure needed to depress it. So I thought that feature was awesome because that was really the first time. I have several other semi-auto CO2 pistols. This is the first time where I've really actually felt like I can shoot it semi-automatic and have that realistic feel of a traditional semi-auto firearm. As far as the speed or velocity, it's about 350 feet per second. They always say 400 with these, or 410, but every time I've got probably 3 of these or 4 CO2 handguns. They always start at about 360, 350, and then the more you shoot, they start going down from there in velocity. You'll eventually be in the 200s. So, I mean, they could probably kill a bird close range, but this is definitely not a hunting pistol. It is pretty accurate. It's obviously got open sights, and they do have little white dots on them, which I like. The only other thing is, as far as the number of shots you get per CO2 cartridge, I think that I maybe only filled this clip up twice. So that means 32 shots, because you get 16 per clip. So 32 shots, and then after that, it would shoot, don't get me wrong, it would still shoot, but it doesn't have enough CO2 to cock it again. So it'll fire the shot, but you have to either pull the hammer back again, or draw the slide back, because it won't have enough blowback power to fire. So you really don't even need extra clips, maybe 1 extra clip, because you're going to be out of CO2 and have to change the CO2 anyways. So that was the one thing I didn't like about it, because especially as fast as you can shoot this thing, you're going to be out of CO2 in no time, and then you're either going to have to waste a bunch of CO2 because there's still a lot left, just not enough to cock it automatically. So you'll have a bunch of weak shots that you'll have to manually cock and pull the trigger. So that was kind of a bummer that you didn't get more shots out of it. But as far as like a realistic type of training gun, maybe if you have like a girlfriend or something who's not really ready to go to the range and shoot some real firearms, have her shoot one of these, and this will really give her a feel for a realistic gun. And you could even use this for training purposes. Just don't load ammunition in it, just dry fire it with CO2, and you'll get some really realistic recoil and feel of the firearm. Obviously, still wouldn't want to point it at anybody and shoot it even if it was empty, but you can practice with it like that. and just keep it unloaded. So again, this is the Gamo P-25 blowback pistol. I think the retail on it is around $70 to $80 depending on where you get it. I picked this up from Dick's Sporting Goods for about 70 bucks, I think, so it was a pretty good deal. It says here made in Japan for Gamo. That's interesting. Thought those were made in the US. But that's pretty much it. It's just another pellet gun review. I do have a lot of other reviews of different types of air guns. That's mainly the types of guns that I collect. So I've got a lot of other videos on my channel if you want to check those out. Be sure to like this and subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more videos, or just take a look at my channel and see if there's anything out there that you like. But I appreciate you watching it, and have a good one.